Here it is, the final day in the month of September, show number 4,557 of the morning show with Preston Scott. It is a delight to be with you this morning. Thank you very much for sharing time with us. Grant Allen over there in Studio 1A running the radio program, and I'm here in Studio 1B, and it is a real thrill for me to have on the show Colonel Washington Sanchez, retired from the United States Army. And Colonel, how are you this morning?
I'm doing very, very well. And Preston, I want to thank you for allowing me to say a few words on your show this morning. We are having a fantastic tour here in New York.
You are taking part in I don't know really how to describe this. It is a remarkable honor. You're representing the state of Florida in the National Purple Heart Honor Mission. First and foremost, Colonel, thank you so much for serving our nation. And tell us about this particular celebration and what you're taking part in.
Well, it is a 4-day celebration, a project that's done by, as you say, the National Purple Heart Honor Mission. And they are just absolutely touring us everywhere and wining and dining us in between time. And they started out with a fantastic river cruise up the Hudson River, in which we circled the Statue of Liberty, and the fire department did their salute to us, and that was just fantastic. So that's the way it started. So it's been great since then.
How many sites are you seeing for the very first time?
I'm surprised you asked me that, because I'm looking at a sheet of itinerary here, and I couldn't even count them. It's been so many different things, and I could tell you about a couple of them, what have you, but I dare say it's been anywhere from 8 to 10 different sites, and I'm talking about very historical and fantastic locations that I've never visited before.
Colonel Washington Sanchez with me this morning on the program, and this touches even closer to where we broadcast from here in Tallahassee. And for those of you from the region, I think you will really appreciate, even to a greater depth, the service of Colonel Sanchez. You were commissioned as a second lieutenant through the ROTC program at FAMU. Tell us about your decision. I mean, this was a time when, for people who are black to step in and serve in our nation in that capacity, it was not an easy thing to do. Tell us about that.
Well, coming from a very small town, Milton, Florida, and coming to FAMU was just a fantastic opportunity. My father was a teacher, so I knew that I was going to be, sooner or later educated, what have you. Joining ROTC was a requirement initially for the first 2 years, and then they asked me to continue as a senior ROTC person, and so I did that for 2 years, and was fortunate enough to finish as a distinguished military graduate. So I went into military immediately for Fort Benning, and then from there it was just a number of things, to include 2 tours to Vietnam and wounded on the first tour, and from there I just started up the chain from second lieutenant all the way to full colonel, commanding in between everything from a battery, battalion, and a brigade level, what have you. So it's not about me; it's about the opportunity we're having here that represent the state of Florida. With this mission project, which is just unbelievable. This is the second one that they've had. I'm fortunate to be a part of it, and we're getting a chance to see things like where George Washington headquarters was. We're seeing the Hall of Honors. We're seeing, today we're touring West Point, and we'll be welcome there, and it's phenomenal, really.
Colonel, stand by. Colonel Washington Sanchez, my guest this morning. We are honored to have him with us on the morning show with Preston Scott. We'll continue our discussion and back with more in a moment.
Of the morning show with Preston Scott.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
On News Radio 100.7 WFLA.
Colonel Washington Sanchez is my guest. He's from Tallahassee through FAMU University, originally Milton, Florida. Vietnam War veteran. He's representing Purple Heart Heroes as Florida's representative in a multi-day tribute and part of the Purple Heart Patriot Project. It is a program of the National Purple Heart Honor Mission. And Colonel, serving in Vietnam, it's a little bit of a connection for me. My brother served in Vietnam. He's not with us anymore. He died of Agent Orange-induced cancer. But I do remember before Bill passed away that he and others like him and like yourself, it was difficult coming back from Vietnam because it was a war that was very unpopular in the States. And I don't think many of you have gotten the credit you deserve for serving our country. I'm just curious, is there a turning of that tide? I get the sense that Vietnam veterans are beginning to be thanked appropriately. Are you sensing the same?
Yes, I am. And Preston, thank you for allowing me to say a few words about that. We did get a chance to visit the Vietnam Memorial here in New York, and to include the 9/11, where many of our young people have served for the last 20 years. And but I was very proud of the fact that on my second tour after I was wounded, can't say that I volunteered to go back, but I had an opportunity to actually command a battery, a fire base for 8 months. And during that time, we got attacked, and I was fortunate enough to, we survived the attack. But my post-traumatic stress disorder have cut in since that time, and the only thing I can really think about and be concerned about was one person that was killed by friendly fire during the attack. What have his name? James Preston. He happened to have the same last name as yours, basically. And many of our military people have suffered that, and so I got a chance to say a few words there as well. And we need to just thank each other. We need to thank veterans as opposed to coming back. And last night we had certificates given to us, and many people said how they had to take off their uniform when they arrived in Washington State and wear civilian clothes back to their hometown of where they were going because of the protests and what have you, which we know nothing about. And I was one of those people. And so when people thank me for my service now, I really appreciate it, and I'll take any kind of thought process of that nature at all.
Well, I speak on behalf of everybody that I know listens to this program in saying thank you, Colonel. Thank you for serving then. Thank you for serving now. What's on the itinerary that you're most looking forward to that you've yet to do?
West Point. We actually leave about 9:15 this morning, and we'll get a chance to visit West Point and the visitor center, the museum there, and they'll tour us. We'll get a chance to have lunch there, and it's a welcome home rally type thing that they're having for us, and so we are very excited about it. I've never been to West Point. Of course, I've served with a lot of people who have. But I tell you, it is the last event, which is today, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of anything that would give us this opportunity.
Colonel, thank you so much for sharing some of your time and your experience, and we wish you nothing but the best. And again, on behalf of a very grateful community here in Tallahassee and the surrounding area of the Big Bend and Panhandle of Florida and South Georgia, thank you for serving, sir. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to say a few words.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Colonel Washington Sanchez with us this morning on The Morning Show with Preston Scott.